Now, my great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Ms. Pei Xuan. Ms. Lee is a senior physiotherapist at Heartland Rehab. She graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Physiotherapy in 2012 and pursued her Masters of Physiotherapy from the National Yangming University in Taiwan. Ms. Lee has since worked in public and private practice settings in both Taiwan and Singapore, working with clients in many different clinical conditions across age groups. Let's welcome her to present on the topic of gaming posture and ergonomics for esports. Ms. Lee, please.
Hi everyone. Give me a moment, just check the charts. So, good afternoon everyone. I really appreciate the opportunity to be with you guys today, and I'm here to talk to you about. I'm here to talk to you about the. Sorry, that's a technical problems. Yeah, I'm here to talk to you about the gaming posture and ergonomics for the esports. So my name is Pei Xuan. I'm the physiotherapist from Heartland Rehab. So esports is actually the world's fastest growing sports. It defined as the competitive sports where gamers use their physical and their mental ability to compete in various games in online and electronic environments. So we actually know that physical ability is so important for the esport players. It could really potentially influence their game performance. The research actually showed that 40% of them did not really participate in any form of the physical activities, and most of them spending 3 hours or more like sitting in front of the computer and play and without taking any rest breaks. So these two results actually relates to our concern that this sedentary behavior actually associated with gaming may have negative effects on the health and well-being of the players. So other than the sedentary behaviors, most of them have the long hour screen time sitting in front of the computers. Usually their training schedule is about like 5.5 to 10 hours per day. So sitting right in front of the computer may cause them have some after long hour sittings. Other than that, the poor ergonomic setup of gaming desks also leading them to have some neck, back, and wrist strain or discomforts. A research did on 2019 showing that most of the participants, including the esport player, they do not have any preventative exercises. So it means that most of the esport player, there are lack of knowledge and the guidance of any preventative exercises. In fact, a lot of them really suffer from the chronic overuse injury. So we are really concerned for their health and time for them to begin to proactively manage and prevent these issues. So my presentation today will divide into 4 main sectors. Firstly, I will tell you how important is the physical activities and what is the benefit of it. Secondly, I will tell you what is the best posture and how to do some behavioral change during gaming. Third, I'm going to tell you how to set up your desk and your chair. Next, I will teach you some simple exercise to prevent any injuries. So let's fill you in with the benefits of the physical activities. So we actually know that esport players are required to sustain in the high levels of concentration while maintaining fast reaction time and decision making under pressure. So this requires them to have the mental toughness. So the frequency of the physical activity is actually positively correlate to the mental toughness and the esport performance. It actually means that if you do enough of physical activity, it might improve your mental toughness and your esport performance. Another systematic review is actually showing that moderate physical exercise able to improve your sleeping qualities. So it's so good to do like physical activity. It can improve your mental toughness, your esport performance, and actually you improve your sleeping as well. So what is considered as the adequate physical activities? So to benefit your health, WHO, the World Health Organization, actually recommend that individuals participate in at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic physical exercise per week. Alternatively, we actually can exercise at a vigorous intensity for 75 minutes per week to achieve the same kind of outcomes. So any one of you that really have achieved this can raise your hands in the group chat there. Yep. So there's another definition called physical inactivities. So which means that less than 30 minutes of moderate intensity physical per week actually considered as a physical inactivity. So try not to fall in this category and try to implement some physical activity in your daily life to maintain a healthy lifestyles. Next, I'm going to talk to you about the behavioral change and what is exactly the best postures. We don't typically think that the esports players in the sedentary activity will have some injury. However, they actually have 3 risk factors that will cause them to have some discomforts. First is actually the repetitive movements of your hand and the wrist during the games. So the research actually showed that the high levels of the player actually make 500 to 600 action moves per minute. It means that every second they make 10 times of moving. So the esports player required to repetitively hit on the mouse, keyboard, or even your joystick for a long period of time. This kind of movement will actually strain your muscle and tendons around your hand and wrist. All the time it becomes inflamed and then leading to a repetitive stress injuries. Another is that they will sustain the posture in front of the computer to at least 3 to 6 hours per day without taking any rest break. It might be one of the risk factors for you to cause any discomforts. Furthermore, the contact stress actually means that the sharp and hard object localize pressure on your wrist. So this, when you're typing or maybe when you're playing the game using your mouse for a prolonged period of time, you're stressing your wrist region actually can reduce the blood circulation and affect the nerve function, leading to some swelling, tingling, discomfort at your wrist region. So 3 of these risk factors actually will cause you have some discomfort and leading to some injuries. So what is the common injuries during gaming? So according to research actually showing that the back and the neck will be the most common injury, and following with the hands and the wrist. So we'll look into it one by one. So let's talk about the neck regions. So if you have some neck pain after play, you could feel the pain localized at your neck regions. Somebody might feel the pain travel down to your shoulder or your shoulder blade regions. If your neck muscle is very, very tense, you also might feel some headaches as well. If the nerve is really involved, you might feel your arms and your wrist region a bit like tingling and numbness. So if you suffer from low back pain, you may feel the pain localized in your back region. Sometimes you might feel the pain in your buttocks and the side of your thigh as well. So this is called as a wrist foot pain. So if your nerve is involved, you might feel the shooting pain all the way down from the back to your buttock or if to your calf regions. If you suffer from the wrist pain, the most common one will be the carpal tunnel syndrome. So the carpal tunnel syndrome is actually the median nerve being compressed. So our median nerve is travel from our arms all the way down to the wrist region. So you might feel some tingling, numbness sensation at the red color region over here, and you might feel the weakness of your hands and make you a little bit hard to place your games. If you suffer with some fingers injuries or maybe some pain at the fingers, it could be the gamer thumb, which at the thumb area, and could be at the fingers, which at the finger area. So this two is actually the tendons, which is the structures that connect your muscle and your bone become a little bit inflamed. If you suffer from the gamer thumb, you might feel the pain at the base of the thumb area here. When you move your thumb, you feel a sharp pain over these regions. And if you have the trigger finger, you might feel your finger a bit stuck in a certain position. And when you try to straighten and bend your arm, bend your finger, you might feel the pain as well. So if you suffer from all of these of the injury, you can actually seek for the help with the doctors or a physiotherapy or even the occupational therapies to look at your injuries. So next, I'm going to tell you what is the best postures. So there's 4 diagrams over here. So you can, anyone can just chat, type in the group chat that which one is the best postures. Yep. So actually none of these is the best. The next posture is always the best posture. So try to adjust your posture and increase the frequency throughout the day. Even just a little small movement also all right. It's actually the best strategy for you to reduce your discomforts. And actually there's no bad posture. as well as you don't stay in that position for the all day long. So if you are listening to the talk today, you are probably in a very similar position like this lady. So you are a bit slouching, a bit forward head. So this actually not a bad thing, but if you stay in this position for a whole day, it's actually quite strenuous for your back and your neck regions. So what is exactly the ideal posture? You must be sitting on your sitting bones and make sure your ears, your shoulder, and your hip is actually on a one straight line here. So where is your sitting bone? So everyone can try to sit half of the chair, and you can try to find the hard bone right under your buttock area. If you couldn't feel it, you can put your hand right under your buttock area and try to feel the sitting bone. And then actually when you shift forward and backward, you actually can find there's a spot you can feel the sitting bone the most. That's how you're sitting on your sitting bones. So when you're sitting on the sitting bone, you're actually in a pretty upright positions. This is how you can adjust your posture if you find yourself in the awkward position. Try to sitting upright, sitting on your sitting bones. Next, I'm going to tell you how to set up your ergonomics. So what is the characteristic of the good gamer chair? So those chairs that provide necessary support to your neck, your back, legs, buttock, and arm is considered as a good chair. So the research actually showing that the chair can be height adjustable, and adjustable backrest and armrest can actually reduce the discomfort of your bodies. So next, I will tell you some guidelines to how to ideally adjust your game station to really fit you. There are actually 4 areas to focus, and we will review it one at a time. The goal is to help you to find the best position in which you can play comfortably. So the first point is actually body to the chair. So our spine actually have 2 nice inward curves. First is at the neck region, another is at the back region. So there is some good ergonomic chair could really adjust the degree of the angulations of the backrest and adjust the neck support as well. So if you don't have this kind of good ergonomic chair, what you can do is maybe use a roll-up tower or removable back support cushion to provide the support for your natural curve of the spine. Next, I'm going to look into the seat depth and the width. So make sure you sit all the way back to the chair, let the back seat support you, and make sure there is a 2 to 3 finger away from the seat cushion to avoid the blocking circulation of your knees. Some of the gamer chairs that actually have the curved pen seats. Make sure you find a correct size of chair to you. And when you're sitting on the chair, make sure the thigh area is not pressing on the raised up part over here. Next, we're going to look into the feet to the floor. So if your feet are unsupported, you might have some discomfort at your backs. So if your feet is not planted on the ground, try to lower your chair seat height. If you don't have the adjustable seat height chair, what you can do is actually put a footrest right under your legs. Make sure both of your legs is actually on the flat surface. So unsupported feet really can cause some back issue. So try to change this position and change the seat height. Next is the eyes to the screen. So try to adjust the monitor height so that the top of the screen is actually at slightly below your eyes level, and the screen is approximately an arm length away from you. And the center of the monitor should be in line with you. If you are the dual monitor user, try to angle the screen so that they are slightly concave. If you are the laptop user, try to maintain the eye level to the screen. So you have to raise up your laptops on a stand and attach with the external keyboard to avoid you shrugging shoulder when you play your esports. Next thing to focus is actually hand to the mouse and keyboard. So try to put your keyboard and mouse closer to you when you play. And your elbow should be 90 to 120 degrees resting on the armrest. Putting your arms on the armrest actually can make you feel shoulder relaxed, and your upper arm can avoid your upper arm to shrugging up. So try to keep your wrist always neutral when you put your hand on the keyboard and mouse. So this is considered as a neutral and flat position. And try to put your hand on the armrest or on the supported surface to make sure the wrist is straight. Avoid bending a lot of the wrist. And when you're holding the mouse, try to hold with the palm gripping. This actually make your wrist really straight. If you hold with the claw gripping, actually will bending too much from your wrist regions. And the last part of the talk, I'm going to teach you some simple exercise to prevent the injuries. So the first exercise is stretching the upper trapezius muscles. So this muscle is behind at your neck and the shoulder regions. So this muscle always overactive after prolonged sitting in front of the computer because you might end up with a protruding position and despite using a lot of these muscles. So try to sit half of the chair, planted your feet on the ground, and then try to hold your hand at the side of the body. This move is to try to fix your shoulder down and try to hold your head to the opposite direction and hold it there, stretching for about 20 seconds and then slowly come back. You can try to do it for 5 times for each side. Next is actually the QL stretch. The QL muscle is actually our back muscles. So when you're sitting for long, this muscle will become quite tense and sore. So this muscle is from the rib region all the way down to your pelvic region. So make sure you sit planted, your buttock is planted on the seat and raise your hands up and slightly bang toward the opposite sides. You'll feel a nice stretch at the side region here and the back region as well. So try to don't lift up your buttock when you lean to the sides. So this stretch can try to hold it there for about 20 seconds and do about 5 times for each side. Next exercise is actually the Bruegel exercise. This exercise can actually improve your postures and can actually work on the muscle that help with the posture control and turn down those overactive muscles. So we start with 2 simple movements first. First is actually the chin tuck in. So try to tuck in your chin, create a little double chin inwards and relax. The second move is try to squeeze your shoulder blade. So when you squeeze your shoulder blade together, shoulder blade will be close together and you relax, it will be apart. And try to squeeze again together and you're apart. So now I'm going to combine 2 of these movements together. So you try to open your sit up and tall, open your arms, open your chest, try to open and stretch. Feel a nice stretch at the front of your chest and your wrist region, and you come back. So when you do this movement, you try to do your chin tucking and squeezing your shoulder blade together and stretch your chest and wrist regions and slowly come back. So this is the back views of the exercises. So squeeze your shoulder blade together and apart, squeezing and apart. So try to avoid your neck protruding out while doing this exercise. So remember, always keep your chin tucked in when doing this posture exercise. If you find it is too easy for you, it actually can put the bands, wrapping the bands on your palm area and do this exercise. So you feel the shoulder blade muscle working a little bit more with the resistant band. You can try to do this exercise about 10 times. For 1 set, you can do up to 3 sets daily. The last exercise will be the simple hand exercises. So you actually can look at the video over here. You can try to straighten your hand and make a fist and put your thumb in and bend your wrist forwards and open up again. So try to squeeze, hold the fist, and you put your thumb in and squeeze, and then open again, and you make it straight again. So try to do this tendon gliding exercise for about 10 times every day and do about 3 sets daily. So we come to the end of the talk today. So there's actually 4 areas to focus when you adjust your ergonomics at home. First is actually try to adjust the body to chair, feet to the ground, eyes to the screen, and the hands to the mouse. And remember, the best posture is always the next postures. Any position in extended periods of time can be very harmful to us. So try to take a rest break after an hour or maybe 1 to 2 competitive games, or during the loading time in between the game, you actually can take a few minute breaks or a few second breaks to really check your posture. Say whether do you sit on your sitting bone or maybe just stand up and walk around and do some simple exercise that I showed you just now. So we actually have a few branches in Singapore. So we provide some sport massage, physiotherapies, and actually some fitness program as well. So if you have any pains and injury, can feel free come and find us. Okay, thank you everyone. This was my slide.